There it is. Hi, Annie.
Moppum.
Everybody's watch here.
Watch here.
Nistum de Kimonan. I think number 167. Let me share my screen.
Hagas na your tumasnaken.
Blue book. Blue book.
Blue book ah.
Naskapi hymnal.
Okay, done. It's the
167.
167.
Ito muna ano, Jo?
Oh.
Silas?
Yeah.
You want me to sing or you're going to sing?
You sing.
Okay. All right. Oh, Jesus, chia miko kakota. Wachichi nati chisha manito. Kia machi tua wintis nipiwin. Wajaka china machiko ni wach. Ako paya ko intia pain. Kia miton ya pakaiwain. Kia tia miko tikastitan. Midait chapaya jiwain. Chia wawak pimati washiu. Nipiwina hati shakotain. Anta washaka chashakwaimis. Namamita kata tota kowach. Tota winan kapatinatitat. Tapwawin chachis katamawiyat. Pimatishiwin asichmiinan. Achachot chachi shopichis. And let's have a prayer. Imatao. Jiniskumin chamando chaji minan Naskapi iu imun. Thank you, Father, for giving us this precious language and these people who are such good friends over these years. I pray that this time would be good for us, that we would learn this language better, and that we'd all help one another and encourage each other in it. We urge Jesus Christ in the Paishis Siminan. Amen. I have muted everybody as we started singing that, so you'll need to unmute when you want to speak. So please feel free to do that at any time until I mute you again. We have been going through the blank syllabic chart every week, and I've asked students to have one printed out. And if you can already do one, if you can do this on your own without looking at the real syllabic chart, so hide the real syllabic chart and take out the blank one and fill it all in. And if you can fill in every box correctly, then this is one of the things that we're trying to get everybody to know how to do. Every box with the right letter in the right spot. I'll share my screen again, and we'll give everybody a chance. And Silas, I'll show you how to do this. When I share my screen, and I share that image, now you can see my syllabic chart on my screen. Can you see it, Silas? Unmute yourself.
Yes, I can see it.
You can see it. Okay. At the top of your screen, there's a thing that says View Options. And if you click on View Options, then you can choose Annotate. You click on the View Options thing at the top, and then scroll down, and then it says Annotate. If you choose Annotate, then you can draw on this with your mouse.
Okay.
And
Annotate.
you can put in letters like this. See how I did that?
Yeah. Oh,
And there's also an eraser button. If you want to, you can use the eraser to take off if you find you made a mistake.
okay.
Because it's.
Just message. He said he got a tooth pulled today, so he's not.
Oh, okay.
Who?
Billy.
Billy.
Name.
So let's see if all of us who are here at this meeting can take our turns and fill in as many boxes as we can. And if you make a mistake, it's okay to erase it and make another one.
Doesn't erase it.
It just disappears.
No, it just starts everything. Anything.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't want to erase. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a little time for it to catch up to what we're doing.
The Anastasia is wearing off.
The Anastasia. Oh, he's got Anastasia.
The eraser doesn't want to disappear. Doesn't want to go. Draw. Oh.
Yeah, this isn't as satisfactory as it had been in the past. Sometimes this Zoom program Annotate doesn't work out as well as I'd hoped.
Doesn't draw.
It's slow is what the problem is. So sometimes it has trouble catching up to where we are.
Dun. No.
Jahat Chabataw Ania.
Excuse me, Bill. I'll be back.
Oh, okay. Doing pretty well here. Almost full.
Bukadara. I did almost all the page.
Fastest chart so far is that.
Mhm.
Any mistakes, anyone? Looks really good to me.
No mistakes.
Good job. Good job, everybody. And we will go right on to doing some reading. But as we do, I'll demonstrate a few things. So I'm going to go to the page that we've been reading, the Walking with Jesus book. So let me share that, which is there. I said that we'll be reading around page 12. So I want to just go through a little quick demonstration, and I did this last time. Let's see what this is, 13, 14, 15. We're starting at page 15. This is the part of the book that we'll be reading from. So what we'll do in order to figure out where this is in the Bible, we'll look at the book and look at the title. The title is Jesus Kap Matashit Bethlehem each. And then at the back of this book, there's an index or a table of contents. So it says here, Jesus Kap Matashit Bethlehem each, right here. It says what page it's on, page 15. But it also says where in the Bible we find that. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. And the reason I do this is so that if we want to, if you're doing this on your own and you'd like to hear somebody read it good to start with, we can listen to Joe Guanish read it on the internet. So I'll stop sharing this and I'll show you my the email that I sent you. So on the email that I sent you, there, and now we're looking at the bottom of the email. It has all these links that are the resources. So there's the Naskapi ebooks, there's Naskapi Syllabics, when you'll install Syllabics on your computer or on your phone. Here's a map of the Algonquian Linguistic Atlas. And here is the Naskapi Bible on Scripture Earth. The Naskapi Bible on Scripture Earth has the Naskapi New Testament and Genesis, because that's already been published. And it was recorded. It was recorded by Joe Guanish many years ago. And so if you click on that link there, that will bring you to that part of the Bible on the internet. I've already clicked on it, so I have it. No, I don't have it. Click on the link. And now I'll share again. And if I share the screen and share the sound, that link brings you to this web page. And this web page says the Bible in Naskapi. It's a page called Scripture Earth. So you can get lots of other languages too. You can find the Cree Bible and Innu Bibles here too. But the Naskapi one is here at this link. And so I'm going to choose the book of Luke, which brings us to Luke chapter 1. And I looked it up in the book and it says it's supposed to be Luke chapter 2. So you click on the number 1 and you choose number 2. And it goes to the beginning of Luke chapter 2. And then you click on the speaker icon, the play button at the bottom, and it will read it to you.
Någon i huset singen. Jesus got matchy di nga daw. Magwajmag Sisho Augustus at Saujamad, Jid Swam Swayo, and the Omen Sis Gadaji Jaji, the Bitchmaganoichi, Jim Santoganoichi. Ayogua Mountain Catabitmagano, Chochi, Magwach, Kunias, Chiuchma on the seats, Senior guys in Hadage, Miswamagwanchi. Chỉ多少真的我的到那是，但这个买起就你去过个，你看说这基本上那个东西。就是买个的就只多少那啥，开心和带就得来哟。俺这个人的事情，开这个呢是本地年开多少，俺这做的事情。我啥有个呀有得来哟，啊我这个买起个不难呀，我当时我说我们烧鸡毛地不开心开出去。就是买个就找个买的你也找有的，在基本上那个东西买过去买几个那买说买的。买过去买个这本地年，啊在才是基本好东找买说买的。你把做买个那是几下是哪能有？我都我看做比这个的，啊我等这个买起几年，我你上么啥买的？还今年把十位几，搞一块钱就不就要你去，我干没什么东西，感觉什么出去。
So just for those of us who are just learning how to read Naskapi better, it's always a good idea to have a model, somebody to follow. And for many, many years, Joe Guanish has been my model. I listened to him for a couple of decades, and he taught me a lot of how to read. And so as we're learning how to read better, it's good to have somebody who reads well read to you. And having this on the internet now, it makes it a lot easier to have somebody do that for us, just to get us started. But now I'll share what we'll be reading together.
Joe was reading from the Cree book, Cree Bible.
That he was reading from this translation, the same translation as this one.
But some words were.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's what one of the drawbacks of having somebody recorded is as soon as it's recorded, that's the way the translation was in 2003. And sometimes, as we've been improving the translation since 2003, when Joe recorded this, so that's 17 years ago now. 17, 2003. As we've improved the Naskapi translation, we still have Joe's old recording of him reading it. So it follows along pretty closely, but every once in a while you hear a Cree word or a different word in from what was in there. But it's probably close enough. So now we'll read this together. We'll take turns reading it sentence by sentence. I'll start, and then we'll ask for volunteers. Mark Caesar Augustus, Achi Chauchamaut, Chi Itisawau, Misua Iwa, Enta Rome Aschich, Kataichi, Jaji Dipitchimaganuichi, Kia Jaji Misna Waganuichi. And do we have a volunteer for the next sentence?
Ayuguya maut nishtam. Kadabat magno choti. Magwas macolonias tiutama on the seats. Syria they had eight.
Okay, good. Thank you, Silas. All right, anybody else? Starting from Miswa. Annie?
Mishwa Mak Awanji. Jiu tu tau chunda ut I dainwach. Anda kabimatishichi unichi gwa kya wihanishwa. Chaji Mishinawakinuich.
Good, very good, Annie. Good job. Someone else want to try it? This is an opportunity that we get to help one another. There's no judgment if you're having trouble or if you're going really, really slow. We're all here to encourage each other and help each other to read better. So who'd like to read starting at Joseph?
Yeah, all muted.
Pauline, PJ? I'll volunteer. Joseph Mack, anta chi stotao, Nazareth ka ishinagataich, otanayo, anta Galilee aschich, katagonich, Bethlehemich, qua itotat, anta Judea aschich.
Danger.
Somebody else?
Where?
Starting at the top of the next page. Wash ayuk.
Wash ayuk uya utanayo anda kapimatishi kwani anya utanisha umusuma jishao jimao wa tipet kaishinikashuichi.
Ha, na, dat ko na kay, ya, ha, din.
Ha.
Ne,
I'm
kay
good. Ha.
ni ha,
Ota.
ha.
Okay, kaishinikashuichi.
Muna,
Yeah.
utanasa kay siya.
Utanisha.
Ang
Okay.
Yeah.
together niya. Kiha.
Good.
Utanasa.
Good job. Good job. Thank you.
Sub magsiwi chow ko Mary Chinya chow yun. Sa James na kanot, magwas magsi kunway mouse Mary. Mary.
Madeline just messaged. She said she's sorry. She totally forgot. I'm telling her.
Okay. She can still join?
I'm telling her to.
Okay, thanks.
Mary it's town na.
Yeah, Mary McManny.
Ne, Manny. Elders would say Manny, yeah.
They would. They would. Somebody else? PJ? Pauline? Benjamin?
Ben Reed.
Eugenia. So,
Yep. One letter.
Huh?
One letter at a time. Go ahead.
Magwaj Auntie.
Nda.
Ah?
Nda.
Nda.
Mhm.
Bethlehem. Bethlehemich. Teach
Da.
Dutch. Dutch. Shash Chi P
Pa.
Pashwa Padim. Pashwapadim. Pashwapatam. Chow Wapamashud.
Hop mouse.
Wapmoshud.
Yeah. Wapmaushut.
Mani.
I'm good.
Moshud Mani.
Good. Thanks, Ben. Good going. Madeline,
Yes.
glad you joined us. Would you
Alright.
be? I'm happy you're here. Are you willing to read the next line? We're starting at ka.
Which one?
The one that I've highlighted there.
Okay. Kay pinanuwich. Magnas chisakis china no chisaks nanuyo. Aku anda What's the little dot again with the K?
It's like
Uha. It's uha, right?
uha, right? Uha.
Uha nichiwa beach.
Good.
Uha nichiwa beach. What's that? Uha nichiwa beach.
And we'll talk about that as soon as we finish reading.
Okay. Katach akuta andaka pimatishiji anya unisti musana Mary. Aji nabashiwi aji nabasiwiji. Kwa wish kwa yajinat. Wishwajinat. Bijuanich. Bijuanich. Aku kwa pimishimat. Pimishimat. Kapishimat. Anda awasisa kaji uji mijishu iji.
Excellent job, Madeline. Thank you so much. You did a very good job. We're going to talk about all the words now, because what we'll do is to go back and look at all the words and talk about a little bit about the grammar of the words. So I'm just going to leave this page up on the screen, and we'll go through this particular page, starting from wash and ending in kaji uch mitsuichi. Uhan is a Naskapi word for donkey. Uhan.
Uha?
Uhan
Uhan.
is a Naskapi word for donkey. So Uhan Chwapich is a barn. Okay.
Okay.
So
Donkey
it's a donkey house. Uhan Chwapich. So Uhan.
We had donkey words for donkey in the Naskapi?
Yes, we do.
Wuhan.
Uhan. Yeah, Uhan is the word for donkey.
Oregon had that big school.
That's right. So you could say a slow horse.
Okay.
But yeah, Uhan is a donkey, and so Uhan Chwapich is a donkey house.
Okay.
Got that? Or a barn, a stable. All right. So Silas, since you're new, I'm just going to explain here what we do. We're in the Naskapi language. We try to find the different kinds of words, because knowing which is a noun and which is a verb helps people, especially new readers, to know how the words fit together, and also to recognize the root or the stem of the word, what it means. So what I'll do is I'm going to turn on my own annotations here and annotate in blue circles every word that is a noun. So starting at the top, I'm going to ask those of you who are here at the course to volunteer for me and let me know what a noun is. Like, well, I should have made a circle. I'm sorry. I meant to do a circle. I'm doing circles and squares on purpose to get us used to this. So, otanayo is a noun, the name of a person or a place or a thing. And this is a place.
Mm-hmm.
So are there any more nouns that we can find here in this whole page? Anybody else can unmute themselves and just tell me where the nouns are.
Joseph.
Joseph. Okay, good. Joseph is a noun.
Mary.
Mary is a noun.
Enoch Mary.
Mary and another Mary
Enoch Mary.
and another Mary. This is like, find the word. Good job. This is also Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Mary G.
Mary G.
How about Umushuma?
Yes. A grandfather, Omushoma.
Gay Bananoich is
Guy Benanuich.
Keep it.
it's a place.
It's a place. It is. It's a special kind of a noun.
Mm-hmm.
Jisha Jamao Deepit.
Uh-huh.
Xiao Chimao David, right? So he's the king. David is the king.
Bethlehem Beach.
Bethlehemich, yes, that's a place. How about this word that we just learned?
Mm-hmm.
Donkey.
Donkey house. Wohan Schwabich.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a place. Person,
Wohan.
place, or a thing is a noun.
Chwap.
Okay, how about this one here? This is cloth.
Chuyanich.
Right?
Just thing, yeah. Just
That's
thing.
a
Yeah,
thing.
thing.
Pechulianich. Yep.
Awashisha.
Hawashisha, good. A child, person. This is also a noun.
Unishtimushana.
Do you know what that word means? First, her
Unishtimushana.
firstborn.
Firstborn.
Yeah, Nishtamushan.
Unishtimushan.
First one born. And this one, a boy.
Napachiwiji.
That is not a noun.
Why?
I should not put a circle on it. Even though it means boy, it means this is a verb that means he is being a boy. So altogether, that is a verb. So her firstborn was being a boy. It starts from the achi and goes to nepasuiji. Any more nouns on there? We can always come back and find them later. All right, I'm going to change colors.
What about Jawiyut?
Jawiyut.
That's going to be his wife. Future wife.
Yeah, but
But
it's
not
it's a verb because it's an action.
actually.
The cha in the beginning is a future tense marker. It means something is going to happen in the future. Let's mark some more verbs.
Kapmachigwani.
Metzikwani. Good. How about this one?
Ishmihashwiji.
That's a noun. That's a verb too.
Wijogo.
Chiwi chaoko. Okay. Don't forget the part that goes in the front, because that part in the front is the tense marker that tells us something is going to happen or already did happen, future or past. So chiwi chaoko. Chaji
Mishnawaganoch.
Mishinawaganoch.
Shouldn't-
To be written down.
Shouldn't that have been
Connected. Yeah, it should have been connected except for one thing. This jaji is a very special preverb. This preverb here, jaji, happens by itself as a word and has happened that way traditionally in all Naskapi writing from the beginning of time. So we don't attach it. We put a regular space. But it is a preverb. It is the part that says to be written down. This part means written down here, and this means to be written down. Jaji Mishnawa Ganoich.
Jiginoi emotion.
Yep. Jikanoi Mausho, Mary.
Ipashiwa
Bashwapatum.
Pashwapatam?
Ashwapatam, yes, good.
Attach.
Attach, good. That's a noun. I mean, a verb. I'm sorry. That's a verb.
Wapma Wapmasha.
Ja wap maushut.
Wapmaushut.
Yeah, that's a word that you were reading. That was a sentence that you read, Ben, and it's wap maushut, Mary. Something happened to Mary.
What about Wayo? No?
No, magwatch is not a verb. And that's the other thing. What we'll find is when we're done here, we'll have a lot of words that are not marked either as nouns or verbs, and they are something else still. They're not nouns and they're not verbs. But they're some of the more common words are the ones that you really need to learn to read by sight, like magwach, mak, anta.
G-Shacks Nanuyo.
Yes, it means it was full. They were full up. They were being full. So the Kaipananuich, the hotels, were all full.
Katach.
Katach, yep. To be there, katach. Akuta anta kap matsiji. Okay, I already told you this one. This is a verb, which means to be a boy.
Yeah, boy.
To be a boy. Achi napasuiji. So her
Go.
firstborn was being a boy. Yeah, go ahead.
Kawishka Yajnat.
Wisquayajanet. But you yet it means to wrap something around and around.
Kwapi Mishamat.
Mishmat, to lay him down. She laid him down in a place where the animals did what? Eat. So this is a verb. This is what the animals do. So an animal, this is animal. So she laid him down in the place where animals do their eating. So that's a verb. They're doing eating. So these other words that don't have colors on them, there isn't a real elegant word for them like noun or verb. When linguists decided to bunch all of these words together in the dictionary, they say, well, what are we going to call them? And the linguists, and it wasn't me, some other linguists, call them particles. So if you look up in the Naskapi dictionary, words that begin with P for their part of speech, that's a particle. And these are all different things. This word wash, where'd it go? This word wash means for.
Most of them start with A.
Not necessarily. There's magwach, during, right?
I'm saying most of the ones on this page.
Right, that's true.
The last paragraph
Yeah.
articles are A.
So, magwach, this magwach again, just means during. So what kind of word is that? It's really hard to define. During, for.
Time periods.
Yeah, it's words of particles of time. Shash means already. That's another time.
That's also time.
Shash. So those are the akuta. So it's like a catch-all for mak.
Mak is
but, yeah. Ago, then, anta, in. They're
like deciders. They're deciding between like the time of or one thing or another.
Yeah. They usually relate one word to another. What you'll find is as you practice reading the Naskapi, these short words are the words that happen most often. I mean, look how many times anta shows up in this.
Anta.
Yeah. And magwach. They're the words that happen all the time. They're a lot more common than verbs and nouns in terms of their frequency, the number of times they show up. So learning what they are, I mean, they're the high frequency words that if you're just learning how to read English, you'd want to know the words and, but, because, of, all those short words. They're very, very important words to learn, and you can learn them by sight. So you don't have to sound them out, like anya, instead of saying nya, it's just anya. When you see it, you read it as a shape once off the page.
And they also pronounce nia, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's one of the things. There's a lot of words in Naskapi that the sound completely drops out, like Ania. It's because in Naskapi, the short I sound, the short I vowel, if it's at the beginning of the word or if it's between two consonants, it often will drop out. But we write it the same way, same reason we write all those sounds in English that we don't pronounce, because they tell you what the word means. So as you're reading it, it helps you to see what the word means. Let's talk about this word here, what this word means. It's not a very common word, but you find it a lot in the Bible. Anishtya, I think it's something like the somebody from the past or the late.
Previous? No?
Previous. So like, because it has ut in the front of it, it's like his previous. So this person that we're talking about, the Chow Chimao David, this part here, Chow Chimao David, that's a king who lived hundreds of years before Joseph. But it calls him his grandfather. Right? Omo Shoma, grandfather, Chow Chimao David. So it isn't really his grandfather. It's somebody way, way, way back. It's like his great, 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 great grandfather. So this word, Anishtya, means that. It means the one way in the past, the late, the distant grandfather, King David.
Wayu.
Wayu, way in the past.
Like what we call our elders.
Like our elders, but elders who are passed away.
Even though they're not our grandfathers or grandmothers.
Even though they're not your grandfather, right? This person happened to be Joseph's, Mary's husband, Joseph's real grandfather, great. He's a relative of him. So that's why they went to Bethlehem, because this was the town of David. They called it the town of David, which is King David's hometown. And so since Joseph is related to King David, that's where he had to go to get his COVID vaccination. No, no, that's where he had to go to get counted for his census. So they wrote he went there to get his name written down. That's why it says Misanawaganwich. That means to be written down. It was a census. Note, yeah. Should that be when we do the next edition of the Bible, Silas? Should that be no och or no ich? Misanawaganwich, Misanawaganwich.
I would usually, it sounds uch though.
It sounds uch.
Yeah.
Is it a different meaning if we say weech?
No.
Misanawaganwich, Misanawaganwich.
Oganoj.
Okay.
Mishnoganoch sounds like something a young person would say. Mishnoganoch sounds like something an elder would say.
Okay, and so now as you look at these verbs, you can see, look at everything in the red box, and all the ones in the red box, just about all of them, have a piece at the beginning that tells you the part of the tense. So this is how we're identifying verbs. A lot of these, since it's a story, it's a narrative. It tells you what happened, and one thing happened after another. So all of these are expected to be past tense, ga and ji. So all of those gas and ji are past tense markers. Something happened in the past. Sometimes we use a present tense marker. That's what this is, atat. And that's all right. That's just the way storytelling goes. But most of the time, it's a past tense marker. This one, kaji, seems to have two tense markers on it side by side, but it's really something that has happened habitually in the past. So
repeated mada.
yeah, so we're talking about a place where animals would always eat, right? Kaji uch mitsuichi. This is a place where animals eat all the time. So that's what the kaji means, not just in the past, but all they did it in the past and they're still doing it.
But also it means
But,
like it's not a one-time thing, right? Like
Right.
they didn't tell the animals to eat that day and then give
Right.
it to the kid.
Right, that's right. Otherwise, it would just say ka mitsuichi.
Mhm.
Animals ate there.
you can also write Adiu to Mitsuichi, right?
Yes, yes. Aji uch mitsuichi or kaji uch mitsuichi. And the uch there in the
Out.
middle means out of. That's what they ate from.
No, I meant to say was Au to Mitsuichi.
Oh, a uch. Yeah, you could say a in front instead of ka. Ka uch mitsuichi, a uch mitsuichi. It would be, that's where they eat from now, continuously. Yeah, it's
Continuously.
a present tense.
Okay. Got it now.
Any questions about this story and the way and why it's told the way it's told? And do you understand the story now? This part of the story, what's happening in the story? We read not just so that we can sound out words in Naskapi and make noise. We read so that we can understand what the storyteller was saying. And you can sound out words a lot easier once you know what they mean. So sometimes what's happening really fast in your head is as you look at a word like marry, first it's just the two letters. It's ma followed by re. And then you realize, oh, that's a person's name. It's Mary. And then when it's a person's name, it says, what did Mary just do? Ji kanoi maushu, Mary. So as it fits together, the meanings of the sentence start to make sense. And then you can pronounce it a lot better because you know what it's supposed to sound like as a Naskapi speaker. This is a story that a Naskapi speaker could tell without reading it out of a book. They could just tell it because they remembered it. And so as we get more and more practice reading, we get to understand what the story means. And then as we say it, we could say it again a second time or a third time as you practice it, and the fourth time, and have it sound more like a story with the right intonation, the right stops, the right punctuation in there. This is probably a good time to look at punctuation. Everybody knows what the little X means, right? The little X at the end of a line.
Yeah, it's a period.
That's a period. That's a syllabic period. There's some people who write in syllabics who don't use that. They just use a dot. But we don't use a dot because we use dots for so many other things. So that Naskapi puts a little x to mean a period. So that means, and sometimes you hear somebody reading, especially in church, if they're reading the Bible and they get to a spot, you're supposed to stop when you get to the X. You're reading along, you get to the X, take a breath, and then keep going. That's what the little X's mean. So take a breath when you get to a little X when you're reading. The same thing goes for the comma. It works the same way it does in English. So we only have a few of them in this passage, but there's one there. And you take a pause. The comma is a pause. Don't just read right through it. Take a pause. It's actually separating the thoughts of the story. So like this sentence, the last sentence in the story starts ka wisquaya janet Julian, yeah, qua wisquaya janet Julianich. So she wrapped around with cloth, comma, and then she laid him down in a place where animals eat. And this letter with the dots, qua, works just like this letter without the dots, the same one, ka, at the top of the page. It's a past tense marker, but when you have the two dots in front of it and you pronounce it qua, it means it happened in the past, but it happened next in line. It's a sequence. So that's why this sentence has two of them. It has one here at the beginning of the sentence. It says, qua wiskoyachinat. Next, she wrapped him up with cloth. I'll go qua, there's another qua there.
And then.
So it's the next thing that happens. So something happens, and then something else happens after that. And that's what we use the qua for. There's a lot of indigenous languages that don't have this, but Naskapi and Cree do. It's not just past tense, but it's past tense with that happened after the last thing that happened. So it puts things in order, one after the other. Qua. Let me share something else. Before we close for the day, I want to share our grammar book. All right, can everybody see that? On the emails that I send out, at the bottom of the email, it has all the links for the different resources that we have available in Naskapi, and one of them is the draft of a grammar book. The grammar book is not finished. The grammar book is being worked on. In fact, the linguists, Marguerite McKenzie and Julie Britton, are the ones who are working on that as we speak. But this is what we have so far, the Naskapi spoken here. And we're talking about what nouns can do. Noun inflection. That is, what do we put on a noun to change the meaning of the noun? Like where last week we talked about the S that we put at the end of a word to say there's more than one. So there's a pencil, and we put S on the end to say pencils. And we do that in Naskapi the same way. We take boy, nepes, and we want to talk about more than one boy, we say nepesic.
Bill,
Yes.
are you going to use for HKW?
Yes.
Atihot.
This should have HKW on the end.
Yeah.
And this should have HK, this should have a dot here too.
Yeah.
So that's a misspelling. Like I said, this is a work in progress because
Okay.
you look at the Roman spelling. If I would have just typed the syllabics the way it's spelled in Roman, ATIHKUCH, that would have showed up right with a dot there.
Oh, okay.
So this was a mistake on my part. As I was typing this, I forgot to type the H when I was typing the syllabics. So there should be a dot here between the T and the Ko. Same thing, there should be a dot here because that's the way it's spelled. The HKW is on Ati. So this book is a grammar book, and what it does is explains what these pieces of the words mean. So in Naskapi, we have nouns, and all the nouns can be made plural. We can say more than one: boy, bead, mitten, Arctic char, unan, atich, nabauch. And then there are other kinds of words that have a different ending. So if we say book, more than one book is a missinagana. Missinagana. So just like English, something is added to the end of the word. And you see what happens in the inanimate nouns. That last letter becomes big. Miut, miuta. Sheepy, sheepia. Akuf, akufa. So it doesn't look like there's something added to the end. It just gets bigger. But what is happening is you take the word akuf that ends in P and you put an A on the end and it says akupa. It's actually pronounced, and Silas will tell me that this is true, it's with an F. Kuf, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you don't pronounce the A at the beginning either.
Kuf.
Kuf. but the word is kuf. And you know that the A is there because if I want to say it's my coat, I say nit kuf. Ntakuf. I have the ne for me, and then a small t, and then a kuf.
There's no F, so.
Yeah, we don't have an F, so we use the letter P.
Okay.
It's pronounced, but at HP is pronounced like an F, a kuf. If you think about it, your lips are doing the same thing for P and F. They're coming together.
Yeah.
A kuf. So you're just blowing through them for F, and so that's really what happened. The word ended with P, and in time we started to say it with an F. And in the book, if you go on to page 26, you'll see that there's some special rules for certain words that end in certain sounds. Change the spelling. So when you have an animate word that ends in KW, you drop the W and add UCH. So mistook for tree, it's mistukuch. It's KO. Mistukuch. Animate words that end in W, like nabao, drop the W and add UCH. Nabauch. See, the W is gone here. Na, ba, uch. But it ends in W, nabao. So the word ends in W, but if you want to make it a plural, which is the ich sound, you have to take the W off and do it with uch. So because of these are things that happen according to the spelling of the word, we had to make a list of them in this book so that we would always do it the same way. When you want to make a plural for nabao, you don't just add ICH. You actually drop the W and you change it to U and then add CH. You might say that the ICH that you add changes to a U because of the W. The W changes it.
W makes it a U.
W makes it a U, exactly. The W changes, so it says drop the W, but the W actually changes the ICH to UCH.
Because there's not that much difference vocally between wu and wooch.
Exactly. That's exactly what happens. So if you took the regular word nabao, ending in a W, and added ICH to it, you
What
could
about
be nabao which. Yes.
Bill? What about the words that end with B, me, E? I, B. I beach.
I beach.
Yeah.
I beach. I beach. I beach. But you don't you don't hear the I, eh? No. I beach. The plural one.
Yeah. So like the word IP ends in Y. You don't say IPH.
I beach.
You say
Okay.
IPH. So the Y drops and then you add CH.
Isn't the rule? Could you extend it? It's just any word that ends in a vowel, Maja. So nabao, squaw. They all end in the W is considered, the small W is considered part of the vowel. And so shkidukmi, hipi, shkmi, it would all of them end in a vowel. And so whenever you add in a vowel, it just extends that vowel and puts shit on the end, right?
Yeah, you could. Let's look at these.
Okay. One ask you, Bill.
Yes, go ahead.
If you piece of advice, you say muscovite. But if you put it in a sentence, people might think that it's on the ice,
On the ice, muscovite. Yeah.
That the pieces of ice is muscovite.
Muscovite. Yeah. Yeah, and so you really can't tell until you put it in the sentence whether you're talking about on the ice or give me, 2 pieces of ice in my glass of juice.
Okay. No. No, I thought I was gonna like muscovite each. No,
Yeah,
many.
Muscamich. Yeah. Because in syllabics we spell it exactly the same way. Muscamich.
There wouldn't be an extra I in there?
Sometimes we put it in there.
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes Silas does. Yeah, sometimes we put it in there when we want to point out that we're talking about something out on the ice, a locative.
We'll make it understandable.
Yeah. What we're trying to do two things. We're trying to make it understandable and also spell things consistently, spell them the same way, so that people understand what it is we're trying to say. So, like these words for dog and rabbit, them. When we say more than one dog, we say demuch, not demich, right? It's not itch, it's uch.
Yeah.
And wabush, wabushuch, not wabusich.
Wabushich.
Obushich.
Mushich.
Musich.
Mushich.
Bisham.
English should have learned that one.
So we don't say the mosich. Everybody seems to say the mosich. It's at the much.
Demuch.
Musich. Well, the mus is a puppy, maja.
Musis, yeah. You have the extra sit in there means it makes it smaller.
Yeah.
The musich.
The much. Yeah, good. The much. Yeah.
The much.
Okay.
The much.
Wabush.
Wabushich.
Minushich.
Wasich.
Wasich.
Yeah. A wasich. See those. So some words end in ich for plural, like a wasich. Some end in an uch for plural, like demus, demuch. Okay.
How do you get wabushich? Shoe.
Wabush.
And why do we say nabas the much? How come it's not nabo the much?
Oh, I don't know. How come you don't say man dog?
Man dog would be a beast, maja, like a werewolf. Nabastum. Nabostum is a werewolf, maja.
I don't know. You tell me.
Female dog is noshatum.
Nosha. It doesn't say ishqua, right? You say nosha.
Noshatum?
Noshatum.
Never heard.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe we're losing that part of the language. Male dog, female dog.
Or
Napa, nosa.
noshatio. Yeah, but
tell the kids it's an insult, and it'll come back.
Oh, right. Right. We do the same thing for caribou. We say male caribou. It's napas.
Napastio.
So if I call them Nushatum,
Nosatum is the female dog.
so it can be a bitch. So
Oh, yeah, that can be a bitch.
Nushatum. Okay, I learned something.
Yeah.
What about rabbit? Nabastwapush. Ada.
Nosabush.
Nosabush.
Nababush.
Nabao. Yeah.
Nababush, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because the Napawa, the Napawa blend together.
Nadwabush volan.
Then.
All right, I'm going to close with these last few nouns here, the nouns that are always plural. Like we don't make a plural on Labrador tea, ihuta, because it always is ihuta. It's never not ihuta. It's just tea. There's some things that are always written in the plural.
Is that true for all things that you eat?
Nope. This is a lot of times it's because of their consistency. Well, milk is like a liquid. Flour is like this loose thing, one flour, two flour.
For milk, some people say milks. I heard that.
Milks.
Yeah. I heard people say that.
Well, you can if you're talking about like I had two milks today. I had a milk in the morning and I had a milk in the afternoon.
Okay.
But in Naskapi, you'd say Jijnapuj. You wouldn't say Chichinapwichich.
What about for alcohol and water? Same?
Nippy.
Nipia.
Nipia.
Lakes. Nipia. Nipia would be lakes.
That's lakes. But you wouldn't talk about it like drinking much, huh?
No.
And alcohol?
Iskadalpui.
Only beer. Nafiana.
Napiana. Yeah, Napiana. You can have more than one. You can have a whole case of beer.
Kami Hagamuch.
Kami Hagamuch.
That's Alice.
That's right.
Kami Hagamuch.
Kami
Kami Hagamuchi.
Kami Hagamuch.
Kami Hagamuchi.
All right. We usually go till about 3:30 or so, and so I'm about ready to stop today.
Okay.
So that's Silas. Thanks for coming. This is the part of the way we do this course every Monday afternoon.
Okay, every Monday. Okay.
Monday afternoon from 2 to about 3:30, and everybody's welcome. And mainly, we're trying to get people who just want to learn to read Naskapi better. And so we go through a little bit of this grammar, but the biggest part of it is that we actually practice reading to each other. And so we hear it read, and then we practice saying it. And we'll do it again next week.
I have a question.
Yes.
For the Naskapi language, do we have only like short stories, or do we have like documents where we learn something like
we got whole books.
How do you make moccasins in Naskapi?
We got legend books like these.
Yeah, legend books are stories.
Yeah, stories. I don't know if we have anything like a cookbook or anything like that.
Yeah, something like that, or how to make moccasins.
How to make moccasins in Naskapi would be great. That would be a wonderful book to have, to be put together, especially with lots of pictures.
No, because my question is, I'm asking this because I know the Naskapis learn by more visual, like
by watching. Yep.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, does it exist, like to read books and you actually learn something instead of just reading short stories?
Not yet.
Not yet. But it's a possibility. You could start by making a YouTube video.
Come like a slideshow.
Make a YouTube video to show this is how I make moccasins, and you talk all about it in Naskapi, and then take that video and turn it into a book with pictures and writing. But yeah, you would start from doing it the way traditionally people learned how to make moccasins, by somebody showing them how.
So yeah, so if that book exists, I don't think many people would just take the book and try to learn it themselves, right?
Yeah, maybe not. But now we have, we do have YouTube, and we can make our own videos and post them of how to make moccasins. The school, Nathan Uniam, they had the elders come in and show how to make atihupmi a couple months ago. It would be great if they had videoed that and had the elders talking about it as they were doing it.
Yeah.
And then that would be a wonderful resource for people like us who want to learn that.
That should be done before the elders are gone.
Absolutely. All those traditional things.
Especially how to make the caribou hide. I would
Yes, doing the caribou hide, all the different steps, but have it all done on a video so that people can, and have it talked about in Naskapi as they were doing it.
Yeah.
So explaining the different steps and the different parts of the tools, the names of the tools.
What I think is that people are waiting for each other to do something.
Yes.
They think about doing it, but they don't want to do it. They're waiting for somebody else.
Somebody else is going to do it. Yeah. Well, some are already doing it. Sandy is doing it. Shundi Shikanapish, and Nathan Uniam is doing it with the kids. So I think the more they document it, they bring their phone with them and do some video and give the phone to a kid and say, videotape this whole thing, and then get the elders to talk about it as they do it, and then put it on YouTube. They all know how to do this.
Oh yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome. I'd love to see it happen.
Me too.
Okay, everybody. Good to see you all.
See you.
Bye.
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 Yeah. Watch out.
Watch out.
Bye.
See you tomorrow, Bill.
Okay, Silas.